With each week that passes, more and more rappers are choosing the side of Future and Metro Boomin. Last week, J. Cole released a tape titled Might Delete Later. On the tape is a track titled 7-Minute Drill. This is a diss track response to Kendrick Lamar, Future, and Metro. However, right before the midnight release of Future and Metro's second album titled We Still Don't Trust You, J. Cole would end up removing the diss track from his tape. A report goes and reads, J. Cole has officially removed his Kendrick Lamar diss track 7-Minute Drill from streaming service. Many fans are now confused as to why he deleted it. However, the answer was very clear at midnight, because when the We Still Don't Trust You album was released, a J. Cole feature was on the album, making millions believe now that J. Cole has switched sides and switched up on Drake.
First, on Thursday night, fans were shocked to hear a J. Cole feature on the song Red Leather off Future and Metro Boomin's newest album, We Still Don't Trust You. Based on some of the lyrics, it initially seemed like J. Cole had recorded this verse after he apologized to Kendrick Lamar, but many fans pointed to this video of J. Cole saying he was in the studio with Metro Boomin months ago, and then today Rob Markman said he confirmed with the source that the verse was recorded before Like That ever dropped. But regardless of when he recorded the verse, he still had to clear it and approve it being on the album. So after being on tour with Drake just weeks ago and then last weekend saying he didn't want to be involved in any beef, he went and did a feature on a verse with people he knew would be dissing Drake. And then we get to this afternoon where he finally removed 7-Minute Drill off streaming only after the first week sales became official.
Also featured on the newest album is an A$AP Rocky song. As a tweet goes and states, A$AP Rocky appears to diss Drake on Metro Boomin and Future's new album, where he raps the lyrics, Flacco hit it first, son, we still don't trust you, always us, never them. Also said, heard you dropped your latest stuff, funny how it came and went. Everyone is going at Drake right now. Now this is exactly when Drake would start reacting to all of these rappers dissing him. A$AP Rocky hasn't dropped an album since 2018. That is a little over 6 years ago now, and Drake was not gonna let that fly. However, it all begins with a tweet that states, Rick Ross and Nav have unfollowed Drake on Instagram after Metro Boomin and Future diss Drake. Drake would end up reacting to these two rappers first, where Drake shares, I ain't picking up, I'm in Turk's Lil Baby. This is a clear sneak diss towards Nav's unfollow on Instagram, as those are actually Nav's lyrics in one of his songs. As after this, Drake would then respond to Kendrick Lamar, as his response started when Metro and Future dropped the collab album We Don't Trust You just over a month ago, where on that first album it had an unexpected diss track towards Drake on the song titled Like That. However, right before the album's release, Joe Budden knew something was brewing up between Drake and Future, as he would end up sharing this during a podcast.
And back to my Future, Metro Boomin, Drake tension. You don't think it's weird that nothing ever happened with that hit smash song that Future and Drake made with Tim's?
What do you mean? Nothing
Wait
happened?
for you.
It was a hit.
When you say,
it was a hit.
When you say what?
No, it was a hit. It was a smash.
So what you mean? Nothing happened with it.
Never heard it again.
Which is why it came to no surprise to Joe when the song Like That first dropped on the album, as Kendrick Lamar was also on the song, which was unexpected, and he would begin his verse by saying, you think I won't drop the location, I still got it, F the big three, it's just big me, I'm really like that, and your best work is a light pack. Being an obvious direct message to Drake and J. Cole, as the big three that Kendrick is referring to is himself, J. Cole, and Drake, the big three in hip-hop who blossomed in the early 2010s. Many hip-hop blogs would refer to them as the big three, as there was really no other competition at that time. But now we have Kendrick telling Drake and J. Cole the big three is no longer, and that he's the only big one left, as Kendrick would then end his verse taking a sneak diss towards Drake's newest album titled For All the Dogs. There was rumors circulating that Kendrick was salty about not getting a feature on the new album, as Kendrick would rap the lyrics, for all your dogs getting put to rest, that's a K with all these nines, you gonna see a pet cemetery. Now, having to be careful with my words, you should still get the point of what he was trying to say. Kendrick was referring to the For All the Dogs album now getting put to rest with the latest release of Future and Metro's album, then basically confirming the line by mentioning K with all of these nines, referring to a dog being a canine, and then ending the verse with a pet resting area. It is an obvious diss towards Drake, and someone would end up capturing a photo of Drake on the night of the album's release. In the photo, it's clear that Drake has his headphones in and he's listening very closely. He even has the headphones with cords on them just to make sure he hears, making many believe that he's listening to the diss track from the album, as his face looks pretty sour. However, things would get even much worse from here. Later in the song, Kendrick raps the lyrics, F sneak dissing, first person, I hope they come in with 3 switches. Once again referencing the big 3, but also now discussing Drake and J. Cole's hit track titled First Person S.
One of the biggest being the line, sneak dissing, first person I hope they came with 3 switches. So what exactly did Drake and Cole say about Kendrick that was a sneak diss? On first person, J. Cole has a bar where he says, everybody steppers, well F it, then everybody breakfast, and I'm about to clear up my plate. Steppers here is obviously a reference to Kendrick's most recent album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and clearing my plate likely means winning the competition for best rapper over Kendrick. And Drake in his first verse asked the question who the GOAT rapper is, and he uses a clever double entendre to say that only him and J. Cole are in the GOAT conversation, meaning Kendrick is not. J. Cole also probably has the most notable line in first person where he says, love when they argue the hardest MC, is it K. Dot, is it Aubrey or me? We the big 3 like we started a league, but right now I feel like Muhammad Ali.
Making it very clear that the beef goes a lot deeper than most of us think, as the beef continues to go outside of the song Like That and ends up going into the intro track of the album called We Don't Trust You, where Future raps the lyrics, you're a #1 fan dog, sneak dissing I don't understand dog, hello talking acting like a fed dog, I don't need another fake friend dog. Future is obviously referencing the word dog at the end of every single line, very similar to what Kendrick did as well on his verse, as the dog reference is leaving many believe that it's connected to Drake's album For All the Dogs, another album that Future was also left off of, which left Joe Budden believing they had secret beef going on. But this is where everything goes crazy, and it was when this one tweet went viral. It would state, y'all didn't catch the disses at Drake because y'all were too worried about Kendrick. Here's another diss at Drake from Metro and Future, which seems to reference 21 Savage, saying that Future is bigger than Drake, and that nobody listens to him in the street. Also, before the diss on the outro, Future switches up his flow to no auto-tune, basically saying that I can get up here and do what you do, but I can really rap. Now, I can't play the outro of the song due to copyright, but it's an audio track from a movie, where a character tells someone that no one is listening to a certain artist in the hood, even though they're the biggest thing on social media. Now, this is exactly what Drake's new best friend, 21 Savage, said in an interview.
Niggas don't be listening to Drake like that. Well, if I wasn't a rapper, I don't feel like I still would listen to Drake for real. It's just I'm a rapper, so I understand the work he put in now, how hard he go. Wait, like when you ain't no rapper, all them statistics don't mean shit. A regular street don't give a f about how many times you went #1, like how many white people listen to your. They don't even think that the farthest they think is the club. Who's selling this club out? That's who they think is the biggest. Like in Atlanta, it's a lot of who you really can't tell them Future ain't bigger than Drake.
I would say it's cap. Really?
On God, I used to think that. Drake ain't really no big me.
This could end up having Drake feeling some type of way against 21 Savage, which is exactly what Future and Metro Boomin would want. But to understand all of the disses and responses further, we first need to learn the beginning of the beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, because this is going to surprise you. At first, it was a little bit of love, as Kendrick dropped his iconic verse on his 2013 track titled Control. He would name check multiple other artists in the game, including Drake, where he would rap the lyrics, I got love for all you, but I'm trying to ruin you. Now, while Kendrick meant the lyrics jokingly, Drake actually got annoyed by his name even being added in. Drake would respond in an interview with Billboard by saying, it just sounded like an ambitious thought to me, that's all it was. I know good and well that Kendrick isn't touching me at all in any platform. He would even add into his song titled Language these lyrics, I don't know why they're lying, but your stuff just ain't that inspiring. Kendrick would end up responding to the diss at a BET award with this freestyle. Yeah, and nothing has been the same since they dropped Control, and I tucked a sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes. While Kendrick was asked about the beef, he would assure the fans that he meant nothing bad about his verse in this interview.
The fact that hip-hop hasn't been shaken up in a long time. You know, when I went in and did the verse, I thought I was just having fun. and you know.
As Kendrick would also speak out to say that it was all love.
Where are you at with a lot of the cats now, like the J. Coles of the world or Drakes of the world? Where are you guys at now?
Same place. It's all love from the moment I did the verse to after the verse. Personally, I respect these dudes as, you know, as people, you know what I mean? So outside of that, it's really nothing. I respect their music, for sure. I respect them as individuals and creators.
To which Drake would end up speaking on the situation later in 2014, where he said, "I never once said Kendrick's a bad guy or that I don't like him. I think that he's a genius in his own right. But I also stood my ground as I should, and with that came another step. Then I had to realize that I'm being baited and I'm not gonna fall." Kendrick then popped out to say that it was a reach by everyone to suggest that there was anything more than just a friendly feud.
That's people digging in. That's people digging in way too far. But I mean, people pick at things all day, every day. You know, I can't get mad at it, but they reach it. We come from two different worlds, two different backgrounds. I really don't see that playing out, you know, as entertaining. Maybe to, you know, the people listening, you know, but not for myself.
Then in 2019, Drake would show respect to Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole during this interview.
I have a lot of respect for, you know, the other two guys that I'm constantly, you know, up against, which is like Cole and Kendrick.
Three-headed monster.
Yeah. So I have a lot of respect for those guys because they also continue to, you know, stay true to what we started with, and finding new ways to do it. I think for all three of us, it is the time to see who can transcend the generations, much like Jay did.
With J. Cole, Kendrick, and Drake arguably being the top three lyricists at that time, J. Cole would even jump in to share his respect for the other two.
I'm more interested in the relationship because I also see a time when I'm not doing it. That seems very realistic. I would, you know, I don't want to be like, damn, we never kicked it. You know what I mean? Like, it was always respecting because even at its most competitive, you're not going to be competitive with somebody you don't respect. I think now it's just more of a wisdom thing where it's like, yo, you can never have it all. 100% of people are never gonna say J. Cole is the best rapper breathing. You won't get 90%. You won't get 90% to say Drake. You won't get 90% to say Kendrick. It's just never gonna happen.